Hey guys, let's talk about our peak and clip indicator settings in Pro Tools. All right guys, so this week is a shorty video and I got a ton of work to do today, so I'm gonna go through this really quickly. All right, so today we're just gonna talk about our clip indicator settings and our peak meter indicator settings. So when we see our meter jumping up and down here in Pro Tools, sometimes we might notice that there's a line that will stay towards the top of wherever the meter hit most recently. So that's just our meter peak indicator, and it's more or less just showing us where the highest point that our meter hit was, either most recently or overall for the whole thing. So the other thing that you might have noticed that a lot of you probably know all about already is our clip light indicators. So that's when on any meter that we're looking at, if it hits the top here and this top part lights up red, that's a clip light indicator. So that's showing us that our levels surpass the level that digital audio can handle and our signal might be clipped, it might be distorted. And so that's something we want to look out for. So what I wanted to show you guys today is that if we go to setup up top here and then we go to preferences and you go over to the metering tab here at the top. And so within the metering tab, we have the peak-clip section. And so within that section, we have the peak hold and then the clip indication options. And so the peak hold option here corresponds to that peak hold line that we were just talking about, right? So it's showing you where the highest point was that your meter hit most recently, depending on your setting here. And so the clip indication option here corresponds to the clip light indicator that we were just talking about, right? So this option here will correspond to the little red rectangles that light up at the top of our meters when we have clipping. So basically all I wanted to show you is that you can tell Pro Tools how long to hold these options and keep them displayed, right? So what I like to do here for the clip indicators is I like to have it on infinite, and that's because I want to know if it clips because there might be distortion whenever there's clipping. So I always want to know if it happened. I don't want it to not display, which is what none will do, and I don't want it to hold it for 3 seconds and then have it disappear because I might not be looking at that actual meter during those 3 seconds, especially when I get into sessions that are a lot more complex that have a whole bunch of tracks. So what I like to do here is I choose infinite. And so what that does is whenever a track clips, it will display that clip light, that little red rectangle. It will display that until you turn it off by either clicking on it, or you can do option C to clear clips as well. But yeah, I just do that because I want to know if something clipped. I don't want to miss it. So then for peak hold, I tend to have it at 3 seconds. So again, if you have it at none, it's going to not be there at all. It's not going to show you where the most recent high point was on the meter. If you have infinite, it's going to show you the highest point that the meter has hit so far at all. And then if you have it on 3 seconds, what it's going to do is it's going to hold it for 3 seconds and then it's going to go to the newest high point. So I tend to have this on 3 seconds because I feel like when you're viewing the peak of a meter, it's kind of more about averages, even though this isn't an average at all, but it's kind of more about averages. You know, like you don't necessarily need to know the highest point where the meter hit, right? You kind of just want to see the high point for where this is hitting as it's going along. So I actually don't mind, and I actually really like having it kind of refresh every few seconds because then I can see where those meters are hitting as we're going through the piece, whatever it is, right? So I actually don't really like seeing the exact highest point on my meter because this, honestly, I feel like this doesn't really give you a sense of where the meters are actually hitting. It doesn't really give you a sense of the loudness level overall because sometimes we'll have a really quick spike in level. And so in my mind, this doesn't really give you as much added value as the infinite option for the clip indicator does, for example. So I tend to have the peak hold on 3 seconds, but you can have it hold infinitely or you can have it not be a thing at all. But I tend to have it for 3 seconds. And again, that's just because that's how I like it, right? And I feel like that gives me the most utility. And again, for either of these, whether it's a clip light indicator that's being held or it's a peak hold that's being held, you can click on it to clear it and have it continue from there. So for example, for the peak hold, you can click on the actual meter and that will clear that hold. Or if it's a clip light indicator, you can click on the actual clip light and that will clear it so that you can see when the next clip might happen. So yeah, that's that. I hope you guys found some of this useful, so let me know what you think in the comments below. And as usual, if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, check out my other videos, you know, do all that stuff that YouTube people like. That would be a huge help if you do like my videos. And if you want to support my channel more directly, I do have a Patreon, so it's patreon.com/CatoNoise, and my patrons do get access to additional content, and I'm always working on bringing more content in for them. So please feel free to check that out. So yeah, that's all I have time for today, but I come out with new videos every Wednesday, and thank you for watching. Okay.